Welcome, this is Pack TV. Sit back, relax, and watch how we day trade with statistics.
Pack TV, God-given, so I gotta make it happen, I'm on mission. Not like them, I'm different, that bag come with a pension. Talk about that business, shit like I'm hard all in the pain. Shining hard, don't need no chain, all this drip, it feel like rain. Everything on me, got it on my name. They don't got it like this, they don't talk it like this. I was built for this. That TV not like guns, take it away. And they know that they're not like us. We ain't gon' do it. The only thing that can stop me is me. If you're doing this for the women, you're losing. Do this shit for yourself. I do this shit for myself. They rigged the race long before your first breath. Signed your name in the ledger, made a bet on your death. Puppet masters and neckties, count your hours like cash. Presidents pushing their pieces while you fade in the ash. Game theory kings in a smoke-filled room, writing out the rules to your ruin. The world ain't chaos, it's their game. Their game. You never learn a script they spin, cause they don't want you to ever win. Flip the fucking board, let it rain, let it rain. Burn it down, burn it down. Burn it down, burn it down. A lead over production, too many miles out thrown. Shine a rise in the rear view, old empires turn to bone. Same damn cycle, same sharp teeth in a grin. They sell you fate on a pay-per-view, call it virtue, call it sin. Game theory kings in a smoke-filled room, writing out the rules to your ruin. The world ain't chaos, it's their game. Their game. You never learn a script they spin, cause they don't want you to ever win. Flip the fucking board, let it rain, let it rain. Burn it down, burn it down.
Good morning. We're gonna watch it again. I will watch it again. I don't mind. Like,
All right, running it back one more
Welcome,
time.
Mrs.
Let's
Paxton.
go. No, I'm joking.
oh man, we've had a lot of we've had a lot of good wargaming this week. We've had a lot of good trading this week in the pack trade group. From the daily profile bootcamp side of the house, we're closing down shop on the live price components and going into the more probability and the historical data. And then from here on out, it's all about aligning live price with historical data, right? And we give you guys a glimpse every day on this YouTube around this time of what that looks like through our wargaming efforts. Austin does it on Twitter. He types it out for you. And I do it on the live videos here in YouTube. So you should never, you don't need to know what and why. You just get to see us do it. Like if you want to learn how we do it, you join the boot camp and you join the pack. And then another huge benefit to joining the pack is that we live trade from Asia all day long, every day, Monday through Friday. So yeah, how you doing today, Austin?
I am doing too good for my own good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I think oh, there we go. There's news just now coming out. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let us know if you're new here. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? One of the reasons I asked that is because I think it is the coolest thing in the world. We do not collect your data. We won't give it to some data center to call you about your car's warranty. We just want to know where the heck y'all watching from. Because we got people from all around the world. We got people from Australia. We got people from Germany, Alaska, Antarctica. We might even have people in the South Pole. I don't know. Let us know. Where are you watching from?
So KPN, the next boot camp will start. Let's see, when does it start? January, February, March. So April. And the cool thing about the next boot camp that we're working really, really hard to do is to get it automated. So after that, it'll still be the same price, but it'll all be automated. All the classes are being built right now. We're literally building TradingView candle quizzes so we can test you and pass you and promote you to the next class based off of you being able to answer the actual charts that we show you and the quizzes that we give you. So it's going to be a lot more interactive and a lot more, beneficial, because like you're getting put on the spot right there by a computer in a chart saying, hey, we just taught you this. Now identify that decision point and the invalidation of that decision point with charts, right? So it's going to be pretty cool. And if we don't get in time, then we'll go back to the old school boot camp like we're doing right now. So that way the boot camp can always be open and always running. Because like right now, the way it's designed is we just do it once a quarter and bring a class in. But now we're trying to get to the point where we meet you where you're at, and we have it open once every 2 weeks for new class intake or something like that.
Yeah, and you can 100% still do this with a 9 to 5. We got people with businesses. We got freaking doctors. We got people that are just working a normal job. Like, I mean, we got people from all walks of life that do this. We got full-time moms. We got give me an occupation, and we probably have either had them go through or they're still here doing it.
Yeah, you can definitely still go through it. That's one of the reasons why we're going more toward the automated boot camp, is so it can be tailored around your schedule. Like it's tailored around the individual, right? So no matter where in the world you live, it meets you where you're at. It's self-pacing, so it doesn't leave you behind in the dust, because like you fall behind and you can't keep up. Like you won't even be able to progress until you understand the concepts that you're getting taught and can prove that. So yeah, like that's the main reason we're doing it, is to facilitate a boot camp where it meets you at where you're at. Now I'll still be running a version of the boot camp, which is going to be more personal, but more to follow on that once me and Austin hash out the details of it.
Heck yeah, man. Look at this. We got 2 people from Antarctica now. We got Houston, Texas, one of the best states in the entire galaxy. We got Helms Deep, Sylvia. What's going on, Sylvia? We got Shaq from Alcatraz. Heard it's really good this time of year.
What?
We got a bunch of Germans in the pack. We actually have like a decent chunk of people. We could probably host from just the America, UK, and Germany alone. We could have probably a small mini meetup in all three of those countries.
Well, listen, like I'll always have huge respects for the Germans because they are the most serious, disciplined. There's no shenanigans, like there's no laziness. There's just like, tell me exactly the steps. I'll make sure I do it exactly that way. And like that's just that whole culture is such a disciplined culture. Like it's awesome.
And we got JB from Colorado. We got Focus from Hello. Where's Hello at? Good morning, Focus. We got Moz King from Snow, Mexico. You guys are giving us really good data. Like, listen, we're gonna make $1 million just from this personal data we're collecting here. Denmark,
Wakanda, bro, that's awesome.
We got a new member here, Sevens from Florida. Welcome, Seven. Logging in from Wakanda, dude. Wakanda is not even real. Please stop making jokes. This is a very serious question. You're ruining it.
Dude, I want
Ohio. And then you got Dojo here from Ohio.
I didn't know Ohio still existed because I just know that there's this white blob of snow up in that region. I didn't know Ohio still existed after all that.
No, Ohio exists. It's this weird smell on the state on top of Ohio that really throws me off. That weird state up north. Is anybody from that weird state up north, aka some people call it Michigan? I don't. Kind of nasty to even say, but.
Geez, you almost made me go off mute. I thought you were trying to talk about Canada.
No. Anybody that's not with that, it's a healthy rivalry. So I'm a big Buckeye Ohio State fan, and we do not like the nasty state up north.
I don't know about that rivalry, but I do know that there's an Ohio song that I like, and it's like, "What's round on the outside, high in the middle? Your mama, right?" That's how it goes. Round on the outside, high in the middle.
There is one. Look it up on YouTube later. It's eat you know what, Michigan, and then oh man, it's a great song. It's a good song.
Oh wow, that sounds like you and Jeff, because like, isn't Jeff? Yeah, Jeff is.
Jeff and Dave. I was waiting. My whole reason was to see if Dave and Jeff was watching.
You're just on this amazing Friday. We're about to go into the weekend. This is what you want to be when Jesus comes back. Starting conflict with Jeff and Dave. Wow.
Love you guys.
Wow. All right, let's get into the charts a little bit. Let's start, and then Austin will go. All right. From an NFP Friday approach, all right, we got nothing, right? We started to creep above. We were above NFP Friday, previous month 50%. So we're expecting 70% green days, 30% reds, and then we came on back down. All right, so now we're back in that 50-50 split, right? From a candle science, huge shout out to T-Trades. That dude has created a system that like is very, very awesome with putting probabilities on open, high, low, close. And so that's what we did. And so based off of yesterday and Wednesday, we know that this low has a 65% probability, and we already ran the numbers during re-engineering yesterday, so I don't need to redo it. But we know the highest, if we get below this low, the highest probability is to come to the 30th to the 50th percentile zone, which is this green box. If we get it back above previous day mid, then we're alerted that we're more than likely going to take out the opening in this high, right? And then we're alerted to the other side of the coin, because the if-then statement tells us there's only a 44% chance to get below, and there's a 64% chance to get above the previous day high. Right now, why this matters and why we're going to be super duper cautious this week is because we've hit all of our weekly probability levels to the upside. Right? As a matter of fact, the next one to the upside is 46%. The next one to the downside is 40%. So from this weekly approach, we know there's no edge right there, right? We know there's no edge right there, right? It's a 50-50 coin flip. Now, from a low of the week, high of the week, we do have MFE distribution that says we could make a new high a week or even make a new low a week, right? Right now, this 1800 Sunday low of the week is the highest probable low of the week, but now the market, which doesn't do this every week, has put us in this weird predicament where we have a Wednesday high of the week and an instat low of the week. However, all right, we're sucking back into the range, so this might be the 1 week because we did overflex from a distro standpoint, right? Where we might actually, stay within this range and not make a new high week or low week today, right? So I know when my edge is there for each probability, and I know that from this edge, the only edge I have for a new high week or low week, and specifically the higher week, would be that typically Fridays make a new high week or low week, right? But that's not enough for me to rely on. So with that being said, I'm going to jump over to the daily profile and I'm going to use session probabilities based off of what Asia did, which it sold, and what London did, it bought. There's only 2 possible scenarios that we can do between now and 11:30. We broke out of the 7:30 to 8:30 box. We went down and we can continue going until 11:30 down and not breach the 7:30 to 8:30 high, or we can go down and then bounce, right? So our job is to solve for that, right? And then we use 11:30 to 12:30 in the afternoon to do the same thing for the afternoon range, right? So this analysis is for the morning, right? So we know that we went short true in Asia, we went long false in London, and we have broken out to the short side in New York 1. We know right out the gate, right, there's a 64% probability that we go false, meaning we go down and then come up. There's a 35% probability that we go down and stay down by 11:30. So our job is to identify where we obviously know we go down and then up is a higher probability, but we need to identify how we're going to approach this if this 35% is true, because 35% of the time it happened, right? So we cannot dismiss this number and just go full tilt off of this number, right? So we know we're going to click false. We know that from a high day, low day approach, right, this 1800 high of the day does have good data to support it, but so does the end of the day, right? The end of the day has almost as much data. One thing that is glaringly obvious is a new low day between 9:30 and 10:15. For a short true, we see that high of the day that currently in is dominant, and then we can see low of the day between 9:45 and 10, if not power hour low of the day. But right here, it shows us that we make the low of the day in the morning session, and we suck back in range if we're going to do the short true. So now looking at this from a price signature, right? First and foremost, we know that we have levels above us and below us, right? We have Asia OU above us. We have London OU below us, right? So now let's solve for that, right? With the false scenario, we see that London OU has an 87%. This is the one that's below us. And the mode time is between 9:30 and 10:15, right? So we know that that is an edge. That would support the short false, right? And then the Asia has an 82 with one of the major modes being between 9:30 and that 10:15 time frame, right? But the most of the time that it gets hit is between 2:30 and 4, right? So we know that if we can't hit this by 9:45, this 82% probability to the upside for Asia OU does not exist, and that supports that current high of the day, right? So now from a price standpoint, right, I need to put my high day probabilities in. So we're going to start with short false, right? And this is off of Globex Open. And we can see for a short false, low of the day, which is expected to come after the open, right? Mode to median is from 0.7 to 1.1, right? That's where majority of the data lies. So we're going to put 0.7 to 1.1. Crazy. Except for that should be on the low of the day, not the high of the day. So we got to type it in. And then we expect that to happen between 9:30 and 10, let's say 30. So we give ourselves an hour zone, right? And then the high of the day for the short false, right, is going to be between 0.1 and 0.4 off of Globex Open. Wait, what did I say? I've already forgotten what I said. 0.1 to 0.4. Cool. And then the time that we expect that is going to be after 1430. So we're going to say 1430 to 1600. So now, right, for this, we expect like this kind of movement, right? We know that this London OU is lining up with the low of the day, but that's still below what our current low of the day is, right? So we know that this London OU has a high probability, so there could be the sequence where we do this and then spend the rest of the day going towards the high of the day, and then from a 10-day median distro, right? Our 10-day median is 325. We run short just a little bit. Where's 325? One of these days I'll actually fix this. So 1.27, right? So if that's the case, right, we can't even make it to P12 high. So we see that Asia and London both overextended. Volatility is expanding on both Asia and London. So we definitely expect our 10-day median range to expand. We definitely expect New York 1 to expand as well. Right. So with that being said, we cannot dismiss the fact that this low of the day for a short false is a real thing. Right. We can't dismiss the fact that this previous day low probability from candle science is a real thing. Right. So right now, right, that supports the short true side of the house. Candle science, new low day, London OU, the lack of Asia OU being below the previous day mid all supports this being a short true. So I'm starting to be able to define some variables that are letting me distinguish, right, a short true versus a short false, right? So let's go put the short true probability in before we go to levels. Right, and we're going to come to short, well, before I do that, let me do this. Fuck. We know the price signature we're expecting to see for a short false is that of this, right? So we ranged until around 9:30, then we dip down, and then we start heading up, and quarters look great for a short false, right? So we know that we can use those for the line signature upwards, right? Now we're going to go, and we know that the highest probable zone for a short false is right around here, P12 low to London OU, and then to put some data on that from an MFE breakout, that just magically lines up with the MFE area 50 percentile reversal of the 7:30 to 8:30 breakout, right? So we know that this is, you know, a high probability area to expect us to come down to, right? Even from a data standpoint, it says 9:30 to 10:30 low of the day, even though we've overextended our low of the day is around this London OU, right? Now, let's do the short true scenario. So I'll go over the 4-step reversal and how I determine the difference in a minute, but let's do short true. Right, starting with high day, low day, we know that that high of the day is valid. So we're going to put, for short true, we're going to put 18 to 1900. And from a alpha Globex open, we went from 0.1 to 0.3, right, before we hit anomaly zone. So 0.1 is 0.3, right? And we can see that once the box appears, we kind of hit that. We got a little bit less, but we kind of hit that from a price standpoint and an almost time. We got it from a time and price standpoint, right? So now the low of the day, that sinks in with candle science, right? We can see that our mode to median is between 1 and 1.4, right? So that's where majority of the low of the day happens. All right, and for me, I don't try to guess. I'll point that out in a little bit. Let me type this in. -1 to -1.4. And so from a time standpoint, because it's not bluntly obvious, I'll just say from 9:45 until 1600. So I know to keep that on my radar because we have evenly distributed data. And yes, I see the mode right here, but I also see plenty of reason for us to do it in another time of the day. All right, so I'm going to put 09:45 to 1600 for the low of the day. All right. And then once we break this London OU, that kind of helps define that a little bit. And what we can see is this supports a new low a day, but then it doesn't support that candle science, right? So that's throwing me off, right? So now let's go look at it from another angle, right? We know the low of the day, high of the day, and how it's supported, right? Let me delete some of this because it's starting to get sloppy. Right? But from a data standpoint, this area between London OU and P12 low is standing out from every signature angle that we look at, right? This previous day low is a high probable hit because of candle signs. So now let's go look at some other probabilities to kind of see like what is, the probabilities for first and foremost P12 low versus P12 high. Right, so we can kind of sink it in. All right, so we're going to come up. We see that P12 low, as is, without selecting true or false, has a 95% hit rate. That's a pretty high hit rate, right? Whether I go true, it increases. Whether I go false, it is still a 90%. So that's standing out to me like a sore thumb. When I go back to this, what I can see from a previous day low versus a previous day high, without selecting true or false, I can see a 30% probability from the high, there's 61% probability from previous day low. If I select true, it stays pretty similar. If I select false, it stays pretty similar, saying that previous day low wants to get hit. So now we're starting to stack probabilities from different independent variables, meaning different ways of putting probabilities on the charts are starting to point to the same scenario, right? We see, though, midnight's been hit. So now I'm going to define my triggers to identify if we're doing a true versus a false. Right now, the last thing I'll do is make sure that we're not in a variance of false versus true, because that could definitely help clear up the path a little bit. Right, so we see over the last 76 days, we went false 62% of the time, true 36% of the time. So that's, and won a 1-day false streak. Right, so there's no variance there, so we can't use that. So going to the live price, I'm going to incorporate the 4-step reversal, meaning I'm expecting, right, even though we're going lower, like probabilities are pointing us lower, the signature of price says it's higher probability to take out that 730 to 830 high, right? So if I start seeing a 4-step reversal, meaning this is the 9 o'clock hour, this is the high, this is the mid, this is the low, this represents the 9:30 1-minute candle. If I start seeing step 1, we get above 9:30. Step 2, we get above the 9 o'clock 50. Step 3, 10 o'clock takes out the 9 o'clock high. We should have been false at that point, right? And then make a Q1 low. Then I'll start accepting the fact that we overextended, and like these probabilities to the upside, and that long or short false high of the day is the higher. Live price is saying it wants that signature more than it wants to come take out previous day low, P12 low, or even London OU. So for me, it's going to be, because it's kind of a confusing day, and I can see both sides of the markets and both sides of the why. Like I know I'm going to rely on that live price element a little bit more. I'm not going to try to front run the 9:30 with the midnight retracement or anything like that, because like I'm not in the environment. The market environment is not telling me that I can do that. because it's not obvious. The only thing obvious right now is that previous day low and P12 low and that London OU. However, that's not obvious when it comes to what the highest probable signature for a short false between 7:30 and 11:30. So now it's going to mean I have to be super duper disciplined at 9:30, right? Meaning I'm not increasing my risk per trade. What I will do is just take, whether I'm taking longs or shorts, I'll take a normal 2% risk per trade, right? And I'm shooting for cash flow targets to the upside. Unless I start seeing that 4-step reversal being dominant around that London OU area. But for shorts, right, I will try to ride it the previous day low, right? Because that is the higher probable scenario. So I'll take sells, normal risk. I'll cover the queen 5-10 basis points away, right? And then I'll leave runners with normal risk towards that previous day low. And then at that point, if I start seeing the 4-step reversal, I will target longs because the short false is a higher probability movement, right? And I will definitely shoot for longs cash flowing until like I can get that major pivot locked in between 9:30 and 10:30. So that's my if then. And sorry to pass you this bag of fuckery, Austin.
If you guys don't know, well, you wouldn't know. So before we started the stream, usually on these Fridays, Mick and I we take turns going first, and Mick was like, "You can go first," and I was like, "Nah, you can go first. You do it." We're both like, but hey, this is why we do this every week, because
every single day you do the same thing. So you know when you got that foaming in the mouth scenario, like we had a couple of days this week, and you had that, oh, I better be patient scenario because my systems are pointing me in all different directions, right?
100%.
I have to wait for that obvious, right? But yeah, we definitely are fighting on who was going first. And then when it's a foaming at the mouth, we fight over, hey, I want to go first because I want to look like the rock star.
Yep. All right, guys. So every Friday, I try to take this as an opportunity for anybody that's new here or coming here. I start with a blank slate, and then I just build my chart in front of you guys because this is what I do every morning. So first thing I do is I look and I see, okay, go to the 60-minute chart. Where are we at within the weekly candle? The weekly candle. Why do I care? Why does it matter going into Friday and Thursday? Is because statistically, the later part of the week is going to do the opposite of what the beginning did. Unless we have a doji lack of follow-through style week, which looks like we're having right here. And so it's not super important today. There is really nothing as far as the weekly candle is today that makes me believe I need to use it for my intraday trading. But if we are in a really good bullish or bearish weekly candle, I use the weekly highs to see, okay, if we break above 930 and we have, let's say, a high of week on a Wednesday and we're super bullish, well, then this high can be a good high probability high for for my intraday trade, and then vice versa for if we get shorts. But where we're perfectly in the middle today, we have this high up here on a Wednesday. That's, let's see, how many points? It's over 500 points, over 2% to get to, and then vice versa where we're at right now. For the low of week, it's about 1.6. So we are perfectly in the middle. And so when it comes to using the weekly high or low, it's not really an advantage for me today, or at least I don't see it for, how I look at price. So then I go down to the daily candle here, go to the 5-minute chart, and I just want to see, okay, well, within the daily candle, what is the current high and low of day? And what we were talking about is one of the reasons we take pride in doing this every day is you guys are going to see sometimes, man, we just don't see it, and that's the whole point of trading and what we're doing here is to show you guys, like, in the world of trading, you're not going to have every day is crystal clear. It's going to look beautiful. On social media, it would look that way and seem that way, but people won't tell you. Like, some days are just a little bit murky. And so today is, for at least me, and then I think Mickey can agree, we're a little bit in the middle. We're trying to see and solve this puzzle for, okay, now we're short for New York 1. What is the highest probable move outside of 930? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick to my plan, and I'm going to show you guys how, even in a day like today where it's a little bit in the middle, I'm going to wait and build a war game in a system that allows me to either just sit out and practice good risk management and my system keeps me out of bad trades, or my system and my rules and my war game is going to get me into a scenario where, as long as I stay disciplined and patient to the scenarios I build for myself, the if-then statements that price has to do, there's nothing scary for me to do other than just wait. Okay. And so today we have an in-stat high of day at 1835 because we have 4 major time periods. Does somebody want to let me know in the chat? We got 93 people, almost 100 people on an analysis stream. Somebody let me know in the chat, what are the 4 major high day, low day times? The first person that does it, I'll pin it on the screen so everybody can see it that's new. So this is a current in-stat high of day at 1835. So I just label this in-stat high of day. And then I come down here and I see, is this low of day an in-stat low of day? Just generically. And I'm going to say this is an out of stat. Well, let me see. What time is it? I thought that said 5. 4:50. This is on the verge. This is on the verge of a in stat, out of stat. It's right within that 3 to 4 window, but it's starting to get in that 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this is an out of stat low a day, especially with how we're interacting with P12 mid. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. All right, who dropped it here? Early bird gets the clean. Candle cane 3. No, there's 4. There we go. There's a little bit of a lag in YouTube, so you got to wait a little bit. There we go. 8 pins, got it. 18.3, 9:30 power hour. That's the 4 right there. 8 pins, got it. 1800, 3 a.m. And that's why I was saying this is right outside that time window. Market open, so 9:30, and then power hour, so market close. And so what this lets me do is this lets me use the process of elimination. This lets me see, okay, price is currently at the midpoint of the P12, which is the first half of the daily candle. And so do we make out with the midpoint and reject it to the downside? If we reject it to the downside with this in-stat high of day, if we get back below 930 or P12 mid, this will lead me to believe the next target is the low. If we get above the P12 mid, this leads me to believe with this false high right here at New York 1, this leads me to believe we could either do one of 2 things. We could either net off the Asia OU. We'll add the daily profiler to our chart. Let it load. Asia OU should be around here. There it is, Asia OU. And so this leads me 2 different things I want to see today. Either if we do the false movement, which is rejection and a bounce off this P12 mid to take out this high. You guys should even see that if you're new here. I just thought this would be a cool little addition for these streams. Is if you see on the down bottom part of your screen, I put a lot of high probability levels for today. So I went and scanned, all the major instruments you guys trade. If you want to see anything else, just drop it in the chat and I'll add it next time. But you can see for NQ 25,895.50 in the ticker there below, and that's right here. That's the New York 1 high. So if we reject this P12 mid and come and take this New York 1 high, I would want to see us take all these bullish levels, previous day mid, Asia OU, and see if we start netting somewhere on these stats. And then do we open up the market for the continuation or the reversal to these statistics down below? So this is what I would see for scenario 1. Scenario 1 for my trade idea going into today would be if we do the false movement and we open up 930 at or around this price point right here around Asia OU, so around 938, 940-ish, somewhere around this area. If we break to the downside, I would be looking for extended cash flow shorts to these statistical levels below. Opening prices 1. Let's see, what opening prices do we got today? We got opening prices 4 a.m. right here, 6 a.m. What is that? 4 a.m., 5 a.m.? Yeah, 4 a.m. is down here. So we got a bunch of opening prices down here. And if I were just to highlight all of them, they basically create a box, okay, this box. And so if we keep rejecting this P12 mid, what these statistics let me do is they let me see where is the checkpoint in price. If live price is rejecting the P12 mid, are we going to come to these levels first? Or if we do reject P12 mid, these are high probable checkpoints. If we break through the P12 mid going false, these are high probable checkpoints. So that's what I love using these levels indicators for, is just literally seeing how does this complement, the move out of the P12 going into the daily profile or high day, low day projections. So either we come to the downside for this short true movement, open up 930 somewhere at or near the London OU. I would be looking for extended cash flow shorts to the downside for previous day low, cash flowing heavy at the beginning of my trade. And then this is the easy trade. The easy scenario would be making either a new in-stat low of day, something like that, leaving all statistics above, and then an extended long off 930. So bottom line up front, what I see today and putting everything together is this right here. We have an in-stat high of day, out of stat low of day. We're currently rejecting the P12 mid. If 930 opens here, if we break through the P12 mid, 930 opens here, I'm looking for extended cash flow shorts and nothing to the upside. Nothing to the upside. Not really in red. If price pumps 200 points, this is just not my move because I don't see it. If we open up 930 to the downside, if we open up 930 somewhere around here, the easy trade, in my opinion, would be a false movement back to the New York 1 high, back to all these statistics to the upside. And then cash flow heavy shorts with maybe 1 to 2 micros for a runner if we come and take previous day low and the weekly open. And then the final thing, the SpongeBob foaming at the mouth, is if we just started dumping right now, we made a 930 in stat low of day and then we just long off that. But that is that would be the easy.
Yep. So for me, bottom line up front is the same. Like I was saying, obviously I see the probabilities of that previous day low. I definitely see the extension, how far we move downwards, right? But for me, like the foaming at the mouth trade is break out of the 930 to the downside, hit that London OU, suck back into the range and target longs off of it. However, that previous day low, got to be super cautious. I will take sells off the open, right? If it gives me sells, right? But I'll be quicker to cover my queen, and manage that trade to previous day low if that's how low it wants to go. But I'm also aware that the upside movement is the higher probable movement from 930 to 1130.
Is Nick, is that cold brew?
That is cold brew.
What's up, Nick? I reckon that you know how much of an identity Nick has in the social media world is I didn't recognize him from his name. I recognized him from his grumpiness.
I recognized him from his name.
He said, hold on, what did he say? He said, "This ain't no out of stat nothing." As soon as I read that with Nick, I was like, that's probably cold brew. Just let 930 tell me the story. Yes, sir. Nick, when are we gonna have you come up here and trade with us one Monday?
Let's go.
Dude, Nick trades 930.
Yes, he does. He's an outstanding 930 trader.
I'm gonna slap you. All right. Guys, next Monday, some announcements. Next Monday is Pack TV episode freaking 2. All right. We did the first official launch of Pack TV last Monday. I think one little slight change we are going to do. We did not know that YouTube had this limitation. So apparently YouTube doesn't like people that love to stream a lot. So you can only have, you can stream as long as you want, but it only keeps 12 hours of recording. So we're going to start out London Open with Bowie just like normal, but then we're going to close it up, and then we're going to open it back up at Magic Hour. So Carl, Eldianis, Drez, no pressure, but you guys are opening up the stream. And we're going to ride that stream from bell to bell. So 6:30. What's up?
Remember, if you're in the Discord, we start in Asia, but our Asia traders are getting qualified to even be able to trade live. So we're not going to put them up there in front of everybody until they're certified and actually past the probation period, that they don't look like degenerate gamblers, you know?
Yep. And then next quarter, we should have Asia live trade sessions. London, we already have London live trade session. Then 6:30 a.m. EST, that's when we'll go live this coming Monday. And then that's when we'll do all future Pack TV Monday sessions. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Mick, you got anything?
Nah, man. I'll see you guys in the Discord for live trade in the open.
If you guys are in the Discord, boot camp members, Pack members, it is community live trade session. If you are just listening in here and you're on the free side, what we do is every Friday we have the Pack people and the boot camps that are the boot camp students that are currently in the class come together, call price live, call if they're in the boot camp, they practice whatever, part of the phase of the boot camp they're in. They're practicing calling that with live price. The Pack members are calling trades live. And the whole point is we're all speaking the same language. We're all in a community that can bounce ideas off each other and actually understand when someone's wrong, versus if we were all just trading different concepts and different things, it would just be chaos. And so the beauty is that we are like a community that speaks and looks at the charts in the same perspective. We may have different nuances, but at the end of the day, we have objective classifications. We have objective reasons for where the high day, low day is. Right, we have reasons that give us the left and right limits of price. And so then we let you guys go in there, practice being wrong, because the market doesn't care if you feel sad or upset of being wrong. But you can go into a place where there's no risk on the table. You just practice calling what you see. And then people can either say, oh, okay, you were right. And then people can learn from you, or you were wrong and you can learn from yourself and somebody can correct you. So hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday. All right, it's 9:11, so we have about a little bit over 15 more minutes till 9:30. Hope you guys have a great trade session. Do not give yourselves a poopy diaper, and then you got to sit in it all weekend because you can't control yourself because you're a dopamine addict. So stay grinding on your goals and never, ever, ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something they've never done themselves. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Later, haters.
Welcome, this is Pack TV. Sit back, relax, and watch how we day trade with statistics.
Pack TV, God-given, so I gotta make it happen, I'm on mission. Not like them, I'm different, that bag come with a pension. Talk about that business, like I'm hard out in the pain. Shining hard, don't need no chain. All this drip, it feel like rain. Everything on me, got it on my name. They don't got it like this, they don't talk it like this. I was built for this. That TV not like guns, take it away. Stop me, it's me. If you're doing this for the women, you're losing. Do this shit for yourself. I do this shit for myself. They not like us, and they
before your first breath. Signed your name in the ledger, made a bet on your death. Puppet masters and neckties, count your hours like cash. Presidents pushing their pieces while you fade in the ash. Game theory kings in a smoke-filled room, writing out the rules to your ruin. The world ain't chaos, it's their game. Their game. You never learn a script they spin, cause they don't want you to ever win. Flip the fucking board, let it rain, let it rain. Burn it down, burn it down. Burn it down, burn it down. A lead over production, too many mouths have thrown. Shine a rise in the rear view, old empires turn to bone. Same damn cycle, same sharp teeth in a grin. They sell you fate on a pay-per-view, call it virtue, call it sin. Game theory kings in a smoke-filled room, writing out the rules to your ruin. The world ain't chaos, it's their game. Their game. You never learn a script they spin, cause they don't want you to ever win. Flip the fucking board, let it rain, let it rain. Burn it down, burn it down. Burn it down, burn it down. You were born in the crossfire, raised on a rerun life.